Ottawa Senators. The history of the NHL. Hockey has been around for many years. Most historians credit James Creighton, a Canadian, with writing the first set of rules for hockey. These rules, called the Halifax Rules, are in the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. In 1875, Creighton organized and played in the first official game of ice hockey using these rules. It was played at the Victoria Skating Rink in Montreal. About 18 years later, teams from the Amateur Hockey Association of Canada began competing for the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup was donated by Lord Stanley, who was Governor-General of Canada from 1888 to 1893, called the Dominion Hockey Challenge Cup at the time. In 1914, the Stanley Cup became the exclusive trophy of two professional leagues. These leagues were the National Hockey Association, NHA, and the Pacific Coast Hockey Association, PCHA. 3 years later, the National Hockey League, NHL, was formed out of the NHA. The teams playing in the league at that time were the Montreal Canadiens, the Montreal Wanderers, the Toronto Arenas, and the Ottawa Senators. Over the next 25 years, several other teams joined and left the NHL. When the Great Depression occurred in the 1930s, the Montreal Maroons, the New York Americans, and the original Ottawa Senators withdrew from the league due to a lack of funds. The remaining 6 teams in the league at the start of the 1942-43 season became known as the Original Six. For the next 25 years, no new teams were allowed into the league, and none of the 6 teams changed locations. In 1967, the NHL expanded by adding 6 new franchises. Since that time, the league has expanded many times. Today, there are 30 teams in the NHL. 6 are based in Canadian cities, and the other 24 are in the United States. The Canadian NHL teams are the Vancouver Canucks, the Edmonton Oilers, the Calgary Flames, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Montreal Canadiens, and the Ottawa. Changes throughout the years. Past. The puck was wooden. There were 7 players per team on the ice. Forward passes were against the rules. There were goal posts, but no nets. Goals were scored from either side of the goal line. Present. The puck is rubber. There are 6 players per team on the ice. Forward passes are allowed. Nets are used. The Original Six. Between the 1942-43 season and the league's expansion in 1967, there were only 6 teams in the NHL. They were the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, the Detroit Red Wings, the Chicago Blackhawks, the New York Rangers, and the Boston Bruins. They are known as the Original Six. The rise of the Ottawa Senators. 1917. The NHL is formed. The Ottawa Senators are one of 4 teams in the NHL. Their jerseys are red, black, and white. Their logo is a black O with red and white trim. The O stands for Ottawa. Their first home arena is the Days Arena. It holds 7,000 people. They finished third out of 4 teams in their first NHL season. They missed the playoffs. 1920, the Ottawa Senators moved to the Ottawa Arena, also called the Auditorium. They win their first Stanley Cup as an NHL team in their new home arena. 1923. The Ottawa Senators win their 6th Stanley Cup. They defeat the Vancouver Maroons in 4 games of a best-of-5 series, and the Edmonton Eskimos in 2 games of a best-of-3 series. The first NHL hockey broadcasts air on the radio. The play-by-play announcer telephones the radio station, which airs the game from the telephone to the audience. 1927. A new NHL rule allows forward passes. The Senators defeat the Boston Bruins to win the Stanley Cup. This is the first year that only NHL teams are allowed to compete for the Stanley Cup. 1934. The Ottawa Senators are sold to St. Louis. This is because the city of Ottawa can no longer afford to support an NHL franchise. After 1 season, they fold. 1992. The Ottawa Senators rejoined the NHL in the 1992-93 season. They keep the same name and the red, black, and white team colors. They changed their logo to that of a Roman soldier. Their home arena is the Ottawa Civic Centre. They finished last in the league and missed the playoffs. 1993. The Ottawa Senators draft Alexander Dalg first overall in the NHL entry draft. Dalg is considered to be the next Wayne Gretzky. The Senators again finished last in the league standings and missed the playoffs. 1996. In January, the Ottawa Senators moved from the Ottawa Civic Centre to the Kohl Centre. 1996-97. The Ottawa Senators qualified for the playoffs for the first time since rejoining the league. They are defeated by the Buffalo Sabres in the first round. 1997-98. The Ottawa Senators win their first playoff series. They defeat the New Jersey Devils in 6 games. They advance to the second round but lose to the Washington Capitals in 5 games. 2002-2003. The Ottawa Senators finished as the league's best team in the regular season. They win the President's Trophy. Quick facts. Ottawa is the capital of Canada. It is located in the province of Ontario. The Prime Minister's residence is in Ottawa. The address is 24 Sussex Drive. Ottawa's population is about 1 million. Ottawa is home to the National Gallery of Canada. This gallery features the world's largest collection of Canadian art.